What is up, everybody, and welcome to the Monday Night Football Showdown show for Week 12, wrapping up this week of NFL football with a bang, a little divisional rivalry here. Maybe it's not a divisional rivalry. I don't know. It's two NFC teams going at it. Let's put it that way. So it's going to be a good game. 49ers and Panthers going at it. Joined by Bobby Gomes today. Bobby, how's Week 12 DFS? How did it treat you?
It didn't treat me great. I hope it treated you better than it treated me. That last Gibbs touchdown was not the greatest. It was over on Gibbs, but I wasn't significantly over on Gibbs.
It was Gibbs or bust this week, right? Like sometimes that happens. Rarely, but sometimes a guy puts up a 50 burger on you, man, and there's all the Gibbs teams, and then there's everything else, and everything else doesn't even matter, right?
Didn't he get like 58 or something ridiculous?
Yeah, it was bad enough. I mean, I'm not complaining. My best team had Gibbs and won some money, but he had his big game, and then it just happened to go to overtime, and he got that one carry that pushed him over the top. So, yeah, man, it happens sometimes, right? That's just the way it's just the nature of the game. You're in it, you're out of it. Sometimes, who knows? No, I think this is going to shape up to be a pretty good game tonight. We got two teams that are fighting for playoff spots here, fighting for playoff relevancy. Carolina's been kind of the big shocker here this year, I think, for a lot of people. They're above 500, 11 games into this thing. They are squarely in the playoff hunt. Bobby, have they surprised you this year?
They've kind of surprised me. I'm with the quarterback play. I mean, I wouldn't have expected them to have this kind of record, but Bryce Young played well at the end of last year, and they're really leaning on the running game, and it's working for them apparently. So you got to do what you got to do.
And then there's the 49ers. I think they were expected to be, pretty good coming into the year, like they always are. But with the injuries, I think they've kind of overachieved. I don't know. Either one of these teams could really start to regress this last 6 weeks or so of the season. They could really. One of these teams or both of them could really start to fall back a little bit. So I think this is an important game for both of them. As we come into this game, currently looking at scores and odds, we got the 49ers minus 7.5. And I was a little bit surprised at the total. The total is 48.5. That's a pretty big number for these two teams. I was a little bit shocked at that, but then again, it matches the way I'm going to build my teams tonight, which is offense and no defense. And so should be fun. So, guys, we appreciate you coming on here and watching the show and getting in chat and being active. Fire off those questions because that's what's going to keep us hanging around. That's what's going to keep us going. And you fire them off. We will keep track of them, and we will answer them all before the end of the show as we take you position by position for everybody. Yeah. Got a comment in chat. Jameis is the real hero. He won somebody $1 million. Jameis was awesome yesterday, man. Like, you just got to wonder, like, all these teams with bad quarterbacks, and Jameis isn't like I don't think he's a Super Bowl winning type of quarterback, but man, if you don't have a quarterback and you're out there, you're playing around with, respectfully, no offense to any of these guys, but like Dylan Gabriels and all these guys, why don't you make phone calls to like Jameis Winston before the season even starts? A lot of teams like that. I mean, I'm gonna throw a name out there for you, Bobby. Imagine famous Jameis right now is in Minnesota. That's a playoff team with famous Jameis, and Justin Jefferson is getting off, but with JJ McCarthy, they're buried, man. So I don't know. A lot of teams could use a guy like that, and he always keeps drifting around. Nobody wants him, but I don't know. We'll figure it out, right? Let's go through position by position, Bobby, if you want to. Or you got a comment on famous Jameis?
Yeah, I like Jameis. I think the issue is like teams either want to be good or they want to be bad because of the basically draft position, not lottery. Sorry, just where they would be positioned in the draft to get the next guy. And Jameis kind of keeps you in the middle, right? Or if he goes to a team like Minnesota, Minnesota should have kicked the tires on him anyways. Like they lose Daniel Jones, he's a formidable backup, and then there's a lot of uncertainty. Minnesota would have been the perfect team for Jameis, yeah. Or even a team like the Giants where you get you have Jackson Dart, and Jameis can come in and back him up. So,
Well, Minnesota, they went into the year with Carson Wentz as your backup. Now, who's a better backup? So let's say you think J.J. McCarthy might be the starter. You're going to give him all the chances. But who's the better backup? Is it Carson Wentz or is it Jameis? I would argue Winston is certainly the better backup. And it just so happens that right now, when you're looking at it and go, oh, man, McCarthy is not the answer. Well, Jameis could certainly come in and make you relevant, make you interesting. So I don't know. Yeah, there's a lot of teams out there like that. But anyway, 49ers, Carolina's what we're here for. Should be a fun game, good game. Two teams with winning records, going to fight for the playoffs. Let's get into it, Bobby. Quarterbacks, Brock Purdy, Bryce Young. What do you think about these guys tonight?
Yeah, I'm leaning to be a little heavy on the Carolina side tonight. I think the majority of people are going to be pretty heavy on sorry, my screen's a little messed up here. I would imagine people are going to be pretty heavy on San Francisco, at least the public is. Guys like McCaffrey, Kittle, etc. For me, I'm kind of leaning towards the condensed offense in Carolina, whether it be Ted, Rico Dowdle, guys like that, and hoping that Carolina can stay with San Fran in this game. 7-point spread, so we'll see. They are away as well, so it's going to be a difficult task, but I'm leaning to Carolina. Being heavier in the captain spot to Carolina in terms of quarterbacks, I'll definitely have a good bit of Purdy, but also going to have some Bryce Young. We'll see how it goes.
We'll see how it goes. Butthole, our guy Butthole is in Chase. Says JJ McCarthy is straight cheeks. Yeah, McCarthy is. Hey, listen, McCarthy stinks. Let's not mince the words here. McCarthy stinks. I'm willing. I'm ready to throw in the towel on him. I know a lot of people are going to say hey, it's only his second year and his first year starting. Yeah, he stinks, man. I don't know. Just my opinion, but he is straight butt cheeks, butthole. But running backs tonight, man, we got some good ones. Bobby, on one side, C-Mac, one of the best in the game. And on the other side, a guy who came out of virtually nowhere this year, and he's been one of the better fantasy revelations at this position this year. Rico Dowdle, definitely the starter now. Supplanted Chuba Hubbard. So talk to me about your interest in these running backs here.
Yeah, so I think the majority of the field's probably going to be pretty heavy on McCaffrey, showing pretty high ownership, which makes a ton of sense, especially in the captain position. I like Rico, going to try to be overweight, whatever he comes in at. What do we have him around, like 12%, Rico?
Yeah, I didn't pull up the latest numbers, but I think it's a little bit more than that. Oh, you mean captain ownership?
Captain ownership, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, so Rico I'm probably going to be over on, where McCaffrey in the captain. He's what's he pushing 28-30% in the captain McCaffrey tonight. So I'm probably gonna be significantly under that, just because like I feel like if you want to win first place, you probably want to not Xing him from the pool, but definitely gonna be under on him in both the captain. I'm actually gonna be under on him in the flex as well. With Rico, I'm probably gonna be over on Rico. I just think just how condensed this offense is. Getting over on a guy like Rico, a guy like Tet makes a good bit of sense in terms of how I'm currently looking to build.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. So, yeah, my first build had some Christian McCaffrey at captain. Now, he's just going to be the be all end all for this offense. I think tonight there's going to be a lot of C-Mac, but I don't know. Do you think there's anything to something like C-Mac revenge game against his former club, or you're not buying into something like that?
It's fine, but like everyone's going that way. Carolina's been really good against the run all year. Like obviously Christian McCaffrey's probably going to do well in this game. But at like his price tag and the captain, just with the punt value, just doesn't seem like it's there. Like 18-6 in the captain for C-Mac. I would rather go to a guy like Tet, a guy like Rico Dowdle, where I'm saving like 3,100, almost 3,600 from Christian to Ted. It's almost 3K between Rico and Christian McCaffrey. I know what Christian McCaffrey is. Like, we all know what Christian McCaffrey is, but I'd rather play the passing game, get to a guy like Ricky Pearsall, who balled out when he was healthy earlier on in the year. I don't mind Kittle, but a guy like Pearsall, I think, and just betting on him, like returning to the offense and taking some of the load off McCaffrey, I kind of like that as a captain play. So that's kind of how I have it currently. My favorite 49er is probably going to be Pearsall, and I'm going to like take a lower stance on McCaffrey than I expect the field to.
So you got McCaffrey, you got Dowdle. Those are the obvious. Now you got Brian Robinson, Kyle Juszczyk, Chuba Hubbard, all backups, all coming into play some snaps, getting some numbers, some projections, but you got to save money somewhere. Are any of those three guys interest you as a flex on your teams?
Yeah, best. I think Sanders for me. From you were talking about just the running backs, or what were you just?
Yes, just running, Bobby. On this show, we go position by position.
I'm sorry, I jump all over the place. Get the ADHD. For me, yeah.
Let me throw a name out to you. Tell me if you have any interest in flex. Chuba Hubbard.
No, currently I'm gonna be over on Chuba. Yeah, 4,400 though. I thought we were talking about lower value than that.
Not just anybody. Brian Robinson, the backup to C-Mac, sometimes gets in and gets goal line carries.
I probably should be higher on Robinson because I'm lower on C-Mac, but I'm not going to have much Robinson. I'm not going to have much Garendo. Yeah,
1,400 for Juszczyk. No. Like that seems like it's going to be. There's not many guys you can save money on. Like there's just not many. Like sometimes every once in a while, you can find like a $200 guy or a $400 something like. Like there's nothing out there tonight that's super cheap. Kyle Juszczyk, I don't even like him. Don't think he gets much numbers done, but he's like cheap, man. People are gonna go to that, so I'm not going to that though. But I get it if they want to. Question for you, Bobby. It's on FanDuel, but you could just answer it in general. 4-2 Carolina or 4-2 Frisco on your builds?
I'm probably gonna lean heavier for Carol. Yeah, it's light. It's gonna be more San Fran, but slight. I'm gonna have some 4-2 Carolinas. It looks like.
Sounds good. Allah in chat wants us to hit up the NFLHD.com, fella. It's a hard pass, but we appreciate you helping out in chat like that. Wide receivers, Bobby. Here we go. This is where the money's going to get made tonight, man. Some wide receivers. To start off in the Frisco, you got two big guys, pretty much. Juwan Jennings, Ricky Pearsall. And then they kind of follow up with the third wheel, Demarcus Robinson. Just wide receivers. Not talking about all the pass catchers just yet. Not going to focus on George Kittle just yet. Jennings, Pearsall, Robinson for San Francisco. Where's your interest level in those guys?
Pearsall, significant interest. Like Pearsall a good bit, especially in the captain, but also in the flex. Jennings be under in the captain, be under in the flex. Demarcus Robinson, probably be under on Demarcus Robinson as well. Yeah, it's more like Pearsall, getting to as much Pearsall as possible. Like he seems to be the guy I'm getting to in a ton of my lineups from San Fran.
Yeah, I like Pearsall. I always like Pearsall. Really good player. On the flip side, we got the Carolina passing game. You got the three main guys, Tet McMillan, Jalen Coker, Xavier Legette. Legette had the big game last week. Legette's had a couple of big games this year. He's kind of starting to live up to a little bit of that draft expectations they had out of him. Tet, Coker, Legette, or anybody else from Carolina on that receiving core, you have any interest in?
Love Tet. Like I said, it's super condensed. People are going to go to McCaffrey. They're going to go to Kittle. They're going to go to all these San Fran guys. I want Ted tonight. Ted's starting to show that he's a real football player in this league, so I'm all for some Ted. On the receiver, in terms of Leggett, like I can't stand playing Leggett. I'm gonna play him in the flex, but I don't love it. I'm gonna be overweight him in the flex. Who else is there for wide receivers from Carolina? Coker is a guy that's really standing out to me from a flex perspective. I don't have any in the captain, but definitely going to have some Coker, some Jimmy Horn as a value.
Jimmy Horn.
Who's Bryson Tremaine? He's making my pool 1,200.
Is he?
Yeah.
Interesting. You know, Jimmy Horn is the son of the other.
He's
Jimmy
not
Horn.
I thought this. He's not.
He's Jimmy Horn Jr., man.
He's not the son of Joe Horn.
Was it Joe Horn, the Saints receiver?
Yeah, I thought he was the son of Joe Horn forever.
Joe Horn. You know who the son of Joe Horn is? J.C. Horn, the Carolina defensive back. J.C. Horn.
J.C. Horn? Okay.
Jimmy Horn's like their cousin or something like that, I think.
Was Jimmy Horn in the NFL? I don't know.
Joe Horn, wasn't it?
Joe Horn was in the NFL?
Yeah, I know. I think his name was Joe Horn. I don't think it was Jimmy Horn. It was Joe Horn, right? Joe Horn was the Saints guy. He's the one who had he's the one who got fined for his touchdown celebration one time when he pulled out a cell phone he hit a cell phone behind.
Yeah, that was Joe Horn for sure.
Yeah,
but
Joe Horn.
That's not Jimmy Horn's dad.
No.
Who's Jimmy Horn?
I don't know who Jimmy Horn Sr. is. I don't think he was a football player. He might not. I don't know. But yeah, a lot of people assume Jimmy Horn and Joe Horn were father son, but actually
that too.
Yeah, you got to look that one up. But it's interesting. Jimmy Horn was a nice little player in college, but not getting much projection tonight. Tremaine is getting a little bit better projection at 1,200 again. If you want to save salary, you got to do some weird things. But yeah, I agree with most of those takes. Let's talk about some tight ends now. George Kittle, man, expensive, but he's finally starting his last couple of weeks, man. He looks like he's finally healthy. He sat most of the year on the injured list, then came back, wasn't particularly good, probably wasn't all the way healthy, but he's starting to get there. What do you think about George Kittle tonight?
Yeah, currently off Kittle. Like I'm playing him in the captain. I'm going to be under on him. Slightly under. I'll probably be around the field. In the flex, I'm going to be under on Kittle in the flex as well. It's more the tight ends for me are all coming from Carolina, whether it's Tommy Tremble, Jatavion Sanders, guys like that I have. They kind of give me value at 24 and 2,800, and going to try to be getting to a good bit of those guys tonight. Yeah, that's how I'm playing it. No Kittle love. I'm very thin on these 49ers when the entire field's going to be on the 49ers very heavy.
Yeah. And then on the flip side over there, Carolina, here's a spot where some people are going to try to save some money. The tight end for Carolina, Jatavion Sanders. What do you think about Sanders? Are you have any builds with Sanders in them?
Yeah, I like Sanders for sure. Tremble's the pivot though for the 400 less. I think I like Tremble a little bit more than Sanders because he's not getting the ownership, obviously. Project about 2 points apart.
Yeah.
Everyone's going to just put Sanders with Bryce Young, and Tremble's right there as well.
He's right there. Kickers and defense. Any of these things making your builds tonight?
Yeah. Kickers, Matt Gay. I'm just because there's not a ton of really great value. Like we kind of went over a bunch of it. Nothing really stands out. People are going to be trying to play use check. I don't mind the middling build. So getting to like Gay, Fitzgerald, I think that's a good way to build it. 49ers D, I think is definitely interesting versus Bryce Young. Playing the Panthers D over the field. Going to be doing that. 3,600 for the Panthers D. Anytime it's like a showdown slate when we have like literally no value, I'm trying to really go from the middle here, and I don't mind playing the defenses. I don't mind playing the kickers. So those are the guys I usually end up on.
Yeah, we got about 24 minutes till this thing locks. We'll stick around for as long as you guys want us to, meaning fire off some questions, get active in the chat, and we'll stick around for up until this thing kicks off. No big deal. But in the meantime, we are going to give away some plums play of the nights later, Bobby. So I don't want you to give it away yet, but we do have a question from Alex. He wants to know who the DK Cash must-have is for you. Cash, not tournaments. If you were playing cash tonight, who's the one guy you got to have, and would that be a captain or a flex?
Easily be CMC in the flex, but I don't play a ton of cash. I'm probably not the right guy to ask, but I would imagine it's CMC.
Yeah, I would say CMC. I would say CMC in cash. It's got to be probably in captain. Like,
yeah, CMC and
cash. It's cash. You can go with the crowd on that one. You don't want to be in a 50-50 cutoff line, or whichever form you're playing of cash, and be no McCaffrey and have like 90% of the people on McCaffrey, and then he is like the top 3 guy in the game, one of the top. It'd be hard for him not to be one of the top 3 or 4 scorers in the game. So you got to have that in cash. Derek wants to know DK GPP, Bourne or Brian Robinson?
I'd probably lean Bourne. Probably lean Bourne.
Let me see here. Let me take a look at that.
I got 0 Bourne though, for what it's worth. Like I got some Brian Robinson, but neither are like.
Man, I'm gonna go with Brian Robinson there. I mean, with everybody back for San Francisco now, I don't think there's a lot of room for Bourne there. Even an injury is going to make it hard for him to. Even if somebody were to get hurt, it'd be hard for him to get in there and do anything. At least with Brian Robinson, even if McCaffrey's healthy, you still sneak some carries in there. You still sometimes sneak some goal line carries in there. And what if McCaffrey has to leave the game for a little bit with a twisted ankle or something like that? Then you've got Brian Robinson. You've got a really good player. I'd lean towards B-Rob, but yeah, I don't know. Let me see. Lots of questions. Some questions coming in now. Bobby, on FanDuel, best captain to get over the field for the Carolina side if you're on FanDuel.
Yeah, I love Tet. Probably be Tet for me.
Yeah, I think I would. I think that's a pretty fair play. Jennings or Leggett with the last pick at wide receiver.
I would go Leggett.
All right, you got the DK Millie Maker showdown. So you can imagine all those teams you got to face off against. Who's your favorite captain in that format? Like, you got to just beat
Tet.
500,000 other people. Tet?
Yeah, Tet.
All right. I'm going to answer that in a little bit with my plums play, then I'm not going to give it away just yet. But is there any value play for GPP? Michael wants to know. Value,
I like Coker.
Value plays, like, it depends on what your definition of value is tonight, I guess. Like, there's none of those $200 or $400 guys that I see that are reasonable. Like, the lowest guys that we just talked about, those tight ends from Carolina, Trimble or Sanders, are probably the lowest. Like, legitimate options. Like, when I say legit, I want a guy who can actually get some snaps, something. So otherwise, I don't know, man. Thoughts?
Do you have interest in Coker? I think Coker would be mine.
I do have interest in Coker. Hold on a minute here. I'm trying to thoughts on 49ers defensive special teams on FanDuel in the flex or on DK. Just 49ers defense special two as a flex. What do you think about those guys?
I think they're firmly in play. I mean, it's Bryce Young on the other side, right? So
it is Bryce Young. I agree with that. They're in play. They're at home. You want a home defense always. helps out a little bit. I don't have any 49ers defense. I don't have any Carolina defense. I think this game is going to score some points, so I'm not there. But, yeah, for sure, man. Bryce Young can always, man, he can be bad sometimes. And it is on the road, and it's outdoors, and you never know. Mr. Irrelevant wants to know, can he get away without using either quarterback tonight, even if he has a bunch of pass catchers from one team? I don't know.
I would probably – yeah, I think you can definitely build teams that way. I would probably pick one of them. I'm leaning towards being pretty heavy Bryce Young. See how that goes, and probably going to be under on Brock Purdy.
Yeah, I would say that if you're talking about you want to make a build and it feels good to you and you don't want to have to force the quarterback, these other wide receivers feel good, I'd probably, just that build itself, I'd probably want to get the quarterback in there with all those three wide receivers from the same team. I'd probably want to get the QB in there. If it means the difference between taking out McCaffrey and replacing him with Purdy, even though it doesn't feel good because you think McCaffrey's the better player, I'd do, get Purdy in there over McCaffrey, or get Bryce Young in there over Rico Dowdle, just on that particular kind of build. Not in general, not saying I like those guys more in general, but if what do we say in the showdown? Your roster has to tell a story, man. It's got to all make sense. So, Brian wants to know, Bobby, any Bryce Young in the captain spot tonight?
I'm slightly over on Bryce.
I like Bryce Young in the captain spot, man. There's a path for him. There's
in the captain, yeah.
Sure, why not? I've seen people say McCaffrey is going to get what? McCaffrey ain't getting no 65 tonight, Lippy. Come on, man. We're not falling for that. We want the plums playing 17 minutes. Plums will be up in just a minute. Lippy wants to know, anyone else on Chuba? You're not on Chuba very much. We already talked about him a minute ago. What do you think?
I am over on Chuba in the flex when I was looking at it. I don't know. When I just reran a little while ago, and I ended up getting over on Chuba. I think he's at 9%. I'm slightly over that.
Oh, you're over 9%. Interesting. Jordan was saying, do you like Bryce Young captain with Coker, Ted, and Sanders? I think we kind of answered that. Yeah, man, if you got Bryce Young at captain, why not? Sure, pair him with three guys if you feel like it. Sanders is cheap enough. Sanders and Coker are cheap enough. That's fine. If those guys were all expensive, I wouldn't want to do that particular build, but the last two guys are cheap enough. I think you're good to go right there. So, yeah, I like that one. Let's see the Ray, blah, blah, blah. Kittle MVP plus. Here's a 2 for 2 for you, Bobby.
Mm-hmm.
Osid. Okay. I don't know. This is weird. He's giving off a legit question here, but Osid was the one spamming us with the NFL HD. They go, what's up with that, Osid? I don't get it. But here's a question for you. Kittle MVP plus the Niners defense, or the 49ers defense MVP plus Tet. And that's on FanDuel if it makes a difference.
I like 49ers plus Tet, but yeah, I know that's counterintuitive, but
49ers
showdown, negative correlation. You can kind of throw it out the window.
Okay. Let me see. Looking up. All right, let me see. We're caught up on questions right now. And it's 15 minutes. So I want to get the plums out of the way so that people have some time to adjust when they dig up into Bobby's juicy plums tonight. So Bobby, floor is yours, man. Who's your fill it in the plums play of the night?
It's going to be Ted McMillan. Yeah, I get more he's just kind of coming into his own, and it's very condensed. They don't want to run the ball enough, but they might have to tonight. They don't want to throw the ball enough, but they're going to have to tonight, I would imagine. And he's probably going to get the majority of it. So I like Ted tonight.
Yeah, I was digging in a little bit. I mean, I've noticed, you watch the games every week. You kind of keep track of it. And I am not just an active list guy, but I am an injury guy. I'm watching for injuries. I think that tells a big story in the NFL, man. When you start to drop guys that most people aren't thinking about, defensive linemen, linebackers, whatever, all that kind of stuff matters so much in the NFL. So I watched that, and I started, you notice about 6 or 7 weeks ago, 49ers started dropping guys on their defense, like one right after another. And it was some smaller names and it was some bigger names. And it's caused this effect on their defense over the last, I think I plugged in the last 6 weeks. This 49ers defense has given up almost 300 yards passing a game to quarterbacks. Second worst in the league over that span. They're getting beat through the air quite a bit with these injuries. So, yeah, my Plums play of the night is going to be a Carolina passing person also. You took Ted, but I'm saving some money here, but I'm going Jalen Coker. One of those guys I think has a big game. So you took Ted. I'm going Jalen Coker as my Feel It in the Plums play of the night. I think Bryce Young and the passing game has some success tonight. And one of those guys has to get there, right? It's got to be one of them. So hopefully Bryce is on his game and one of those guys gets there. So that's the Feel It in the Plums play of the night. Is from both of us is basically Carolina pass receiver. So do with that as you will. So we got about 13 minutes, guys. Fire off whatever questions you got. We'll get to them. Otherwise, we're going to retire here in a few minutes. And I could have swore Osid was one of the guys. There was 2 guys who gave us a bunch of spam. And
why are they spamming? Why are they spamming the chat?
Somebody comes in and does NFL HD, whatever, man.
Why do they do that?
I don't know why they do that. I mean, I'm not a spam guy. I have no idea, but they do it. But yeah, they're bots. They're not people. I know. I get it. I just don't know why they do it in our chat. Like, I don't know. Whatever. All right. Anyways, Bobby, I'm gonna do some quick fire for you. And if we ain't got no questions, we just got to get out of here. All right. But here's some rapid fires for you. All right. For anybody out there who, maybe they want to break ties here, they want to have a little bit extra info, or they're playing some player props tonight. So we'll get to that. First question for you. On FanDuel, Coker MVP plus the 49ers defense, or Bryce Young MVP plus Sanders. So
Bryce
yeah,
Sanders.
I agree. Bryce Young on the MVP. On FanDuel, you want to get Bryce Young in the MVP. That's a little bit too much to pass up on. All right, let's go with some fires here. Bobby, who has more receiving yards tonight? I know your answer, but I got to ask it anyway. Juwan Jennings or Ricky Pearsall?
Pearsall.
Who has more receiving yards tonight? Jalen Coker or Xavier Legette?
Coker.
Bryce Young, 210 passing yards, over or under?
I'm going to go over the 210.
I'm with you 100%. This is a line that's kind of set for like Bryce Young, his average, his median performance type of stuff. 210 is what they were, 209.5, whatever it is. That's how they set that. They're not, they're not really taking into account if he has any upside like tonight. I think he has more upside than that tonight, so I'm definitely over that. George Kittle, 56.5 receiving yards, over or under?
I'm going to take the under.
Yeah. Not everybody's going to get there for first go. If everybody loves C-Mac and everybody loves Jennings, and then there's Pearsall and Kittle, some people aren't going to get there.
I think CMC could have a great game. He just at 18-8 or whatever he is in the captain, and then what is he in the flex? 12-4 in the flex. I hope he ends up like a slightly above average game, but doesn't hit his ceiling. And Ricky Pearsall is the one that hits his ceiling, and then I have the other side with all the Carolina guys.
Here's one for you. This is actually – so here's the question. More rushing yards, Christian McCaffrey or Rico Dowdle? Now, this would have been like at the beginning of the year, this would have been like a crazy question to ask. But here we are. And on the prop sites, Rico Dowdle actually projects for more pure rushing yards than McCaffrey. So who has more rushing yards tonight, McCaffrey or Dowdle?
I'm going with Dowdle.
Yeah, McCaffrey's all purpose, but Dowdle's a pure workhorse run yards, and that's why he's projected so well right there. Brock Purdy, 255 passing yards, over or under for Purdy?
I'm under.
Under that. All right. Let's see. Better nickname for Ricky Pearsall. Ricky Bullets, Pretty Ricky or Ricky Racks? Now, Ricky Bullets stands out because he took the gunshots, but I think it's a legit question. Ricky Pearsall nickname. Pretty Ricky?
I kind of like Pretty Ricky. Remember that group, Pretty Ricky? You remember that? You remember that? They were like a R&B group from Florida.
It sounds familiar, and it sounds like something from Boys in the Hood. Sounds like one of the characters from Boys in the Hood too. I don't know though, but Ricky Bullets though, man. Ricky Bullets is the dude got shot, man. That's a pretty good nickname. I like that. But
bullets go out of his back too, like it went through him.
Yeah, crazy. So DK, Kittle or Young?
I'm Bryce Young tonight, Team Bryce.
Fair enough. How do we feel about Bryson Tremaine? It's a homecoming game for him, Balance says.
Bryson Tremaine. So
Tremaine, you said you were a little over on the field. He's one of the salary saver wide receivers.
I am over on the field. I have no idea who that is. 1,200 for Bryson. Yep, I'm playing him.
I mean, yeah, you're looking for if the guy grabs you 2 catches, he probably pays off his salary, and that's what you're hoping for. So the homecoming game Balance really doesn't. If it is in fact a homecoming game, that doesn't matter. You got to get your coaches and your quarterback have to know it's your homecoming. They have the game plan you in for that to really matter. So to me, I don't think that matters. But
I just want to know who this guy is. I don't know.
He's just an interesting salary. I think he was a Stanford guy. I'm not sure though. But
you're the college football guy.
I think he was a Stanford guy, but you have to correct me on that. I might be wrong. If you have multiple pass catchers in flex, would you go Rico MVP or Bryce MVP? So if all the pass catchers are from Carolina, you want to go Bryce in the MVP, yeah. Even though you might think Rico has a better game, he's the better player and all that. If you've got Panthers wide receivers in your flex, I go Bryce. It just makes sense. It doesn't feel good to put a guy in there that you think is a lesser player, but yeah. So I don't know. 7 minutes left, and I'm not seeing any more questions. So I guess we're going to go ahead and jump out of here, Bob. We've got plenty of time to – thoughts on Sanders. One last shot. Thoughts on Sanders.
Yeah, I'm fine with Sanders. I like Tremble as well. I think they're interchangeable. I'm getting more Tremble, but it's just slight. So, yeah.
Yeah. Salary saver. They're tough to come by tonight. He's as good as any salary saver out there. So, guys, we appreciate you tuning in. We appreciate all the questions, all the activity in the chat. It's fun for sure. Going to be back on Thursday doing the same thing, the NFL Pre-Lock Show. Love it, fun. Good luck in all those GPPs for Bobby joining us here today. And TJ behind the scenes doing double work. Actually, I can see him, and he's not even behind the scenes. He's taking a nap, I think. But we appreciate him doing the stuff for us. So
I'm here.
I see your picture.
Who do you like tonight? Quick.
I'm going heavy on the Panthers, just like you are. My highest owned captain is Bryce Young. I'm just not at my normal microphone right now.
Okay, fair enough. We appreciate you being there, TJ. All this double duty. You had to eat a 4:00 steak in the afternoon because of this. Crazy times. But, guys, good luck in all those GPPs. We'll see you on Thursday. But for now, we are out of here.